Hello and welcome to the third tutorial in this series of how to determine the status of a property. This tutorial will be about the disposition programs that the City of New Orleans offers, mainly about sheriff sales. Okay, so you should be watching this tutorial if the property that you're looking for did have a code enforcement lien on its tax bill, which was the first tutorial in this series. So as you can see, this property that we're looking at, which is a different example, it is 5511 Pasture, does have a code enforcement lien here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is open a new window and go to the website data.nola.gov. This is a new site that the City of New Orleans has set up, and it hosts a lot of different information in different formats. So some of this is for GIS systems, so you have to have fancy software to use it, but some of it is user-friendly, like a public meeting calendar. And this is fairly new at the moment, but the folks at the city will be updating it with more and more data sets to come. So the data set that we're looking for is code lien foreclosures. So we're just going to go here to the search bar and type in code lien and click enter. Now the way that this site works is that a data set is uploaded and then users can configure a view in different ways. So what we're going to look at today is the code lien foreclosure view that is a map. So you can see here that this says map. We'll click that and the data will load. You can see that we start with the map here. It's slowly populating, and then down here we have our table information. So I'm going to zoom out a little to begin with. You can do that over here in your zoom toolbar, or if you have a mouse with a scroll, you can use that as well. And you can see that as I zoom out, there's just these clusters of properties, and these clusters show that if I zoom into Gentilly, say, there's going to be 89 individual code lien foreclosures. And so as I zoom in, those individual foreclosures populate. Okay, so let's use this example that we have one property in mind that we want to know if it's going to code lien foreclosure, which, by the way, code lien foreclosure means that there are outstanding liens on a property that are due to code violations, and when those liens are outstanding, it allows the city to sell a property at auction, at a sheriff auction. Okay, so up here is another search bar. We'll click on that and you can just enter our address in. So it's 5511 Pasture and click enter, and there it is, up in the Burbank Gardens neighborhood. Okay, so, and then you can see in the table that we have the information there. So if I click on this little thing in the table and say view single row data, I'm going to get a little bit more information about that property. It gives me the address, the CDC ID number, which is important for the next step, and then the defendant of the property. Okay, so let's use this example, say that I'm interested in purchasing this property at sheriff sale. So now I have a little bit of information about it. I know that it's been scheduled and gone through the code lien foreclosure process. So the next step is to actually go to the sheriff's website, and you can see up here there's even a link to it. So I'm just going to right click on this and say open in a new tab. This is civilsheriff.com. Okay, and let's go back really quick to this. Remember how I said that CDC number was important? Well, I'm going to highlight it here, right click, and copy. So now at the sheriff's website, I can click here on case inquiry, and I'm just going to, in this little bar, I'm going to right click and say paste. So I'm searching for this property based on the CDC ID number. I click go, and if I click this real estate tab here, this shows me the property information. And it looks like the sale has been stopped. It was going to go to auction on October 18th, but it was stopped on November 8th. And this is really common in the sheriff sale process because of all of the legal noticing that has to occur. It gets scheduled and stopped and scheduled and stopped. So you'll just have to check back at the website often to see when the sale will actually go through. Okay, so let's get out of here. Let's go back to this website, and I'm just going to X out of my search here. so that I'll bring all of the properties back. Okay, good. So this is a good example. If you don't necessarily have one property that you're interested in your neighborhood, but you know that you might like to purchase a property, or you just want to know what's going for sale, you can just use this map to zoom in. Say that I live down here in Gentilly Heights, Boscoville by Dillard. So I'm going to just zoom in and see what's for sale around my neighborhood. Okay, so it looks like there's one right here. I'm going to click on it. Okay, so it's on Carnot Street. And again, I can say view details and get a little bit more information. So this is a good way to just browse what's going on around you. Okay, so that is a little bit of information about how to look for sheriff sales in your neighborhood. And I just want to show you one more thing. Let's go back to the tax bill here. You can see that there's, in addition to the code lien, there's also real estate tax that is overdue. So if a property has overdue real estate tax, it also could go to a tax sale, which is a different kind of property acquisition process and is actually more of an investment than it is acquiring property. But again, if I open a new tab and go to civicsource.com, this is an online auctioneer that auctions properties for the city of New Orleans, and we just happen to be in a period of tax sale right now. So I'm going to click there on the New Orleans tax sale, and you can see that there's 1,400, excuse me, properties that are going to tax sale right now. And so you can search through this website as well to look at obtaining a tax sale. And basically, if you purchase a tax sale, what that means is that you pay the overdue taxes on a property as an investment, and in the period of 3 years you can eventually obtain the title to the property, or the original owner can come back and pay you plus interest on what you paid to begin with. Okay, so that was a brief overview of disposition tactics of blighted property. Thank you for listening.